Don't act surprised. Don't be stupid. Don't be hard headed. Be hard body. Oh, anyways, what up, y'all? It's your man Ernest, or you love Ernest, back again with another episode. This is recording, right? All right, yeah, it's recording. Back again with another episode of Ernest Thoughts Podcast, and let's get right into the first topic. Already rambled enough, so I wanted to talk specifically to the voters out there who might be considering voting for Donald Trump now because they see the mental and I guess you can now say physical state of Joe Biden, although what is going on with him is clearly dementia, which a lot of people attribute to a mental, I guess, degradation, which is true. I mean, when you think about it, it is, uh when your mind is pretty much on the decline. Um, but you can see this physical implications of how that would affect an individual as well. And you can see that with Joe Biden, and unfortunately, we've seen it within, we meaning those of us who have seen it within other people, whether it be within our family, within our community, just in general. And it's not a beauty. I was about to trying to say beautiful sight, or and pretty, so I said beauty, but nah, it's not a pretty or beautiful sight. It's not a good thing to see, essentially, to see someone go through that. And I think that it would have to be awful to be going through, to be the individual going through that right now. As much as I dislike Joe Biden, and I really dislike Joe Biden, and I've mentioned this in the past as well. I will never make fun of him for his condition. When I am on TikTok or on social media or on here or wherever I'm at talking about this man does not need to be president solely based on the fact that he is physically unfit to be that. That's not me making fun of him. That's me pointing out a fact. It's a fact that someone with dementia, no matter their political leaning, should not be running an entire country. Hell, they not should not be running the McDonald's. They should not be working, period. They should be sitting down and receiving the help that they deserve. Not help as in helping them do the job that they have. No, they should not be working, period. They should be being taken care of by those who are loved ones and professionals as well. But also, again, definitely should not be running the country. And yet people see me say that, and just because it's about Joe Biden, it's a big problem, right? I bet you if this was Trump and he was the one with dementia, right? And the same folks who are getting on me for saying Joe Biden needs to not run, Joe Biden needs to not be the president, will be the same folks who will agree with me. And it's got nothing to do with you actually agreeing with the point that people, no matter who they are, no matter their political leaning, it has zero to do with them needing to be focused on their health and not a country, not a McDonald's, not a podcast, not anything else other than their well-being, mental and physical well-being, right? Um, it has nothing to do with that as to why they agree with me. They agree with me because it's Donald Trump in the scenario that I named, and they don't want him to be president, period. So they don't want him to be president so much so that they're willing to still vote for a Joe Biden, a man with dementia, clear cognitive decline, and say, but it's worse that Donald Trump is in the White House. But I'm here to talk about the Eddie Griffins of the world. So Eddie Griffin, if you don't know who he is, he's a comedian, he's an actor, um, entertainer in general. Well, entertainer when it comes to, the acting sphere, I guess, comedian sphere as well. And I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his work. I've been watching Eddie Griffin since I was a kid. When I was actually, he was like my favorite comedian as a kid. Uh, Not so much now, but he's still going to be, if I were to do a ranking of like my favorite comedians, he's still up there. It's not like he fell off the list or whatever. It's just I got more exposure to him as a kid. A lot of black comedians and stuff, but I guess something about him in general, maybe because we both short kings, but like something about him in general spoke to me. So I was just like, you know what? That's my guy. And he still is my guy, comedy wise. Politics wise, I think he needs to sit down and shut up. 4 years ago, he was telling us to vote for Joe Biden to get Donald Trump out of the White House. What do you think he's saying 4 years from 2024? Meaning, what do you think he's saying now? Do you think he's still saying we still got to vote for Joe Biden? No, he's on his podcast or his talk show, whatever he calls it or whatever, and he is now switching sides and saying he's voting for Donald Trump because he acknowledges that Joe Biden cannot do the job because of the health issues that I was just detailing for y'all, right? Now, why is it, why do I disagree? I won't say wrong, won't use the word wrong, but why would I disagree with him making a statement like I'm gonna vote for the other guy, his opponent, or the other big name, because the guy that I really want to vote for can't run because I know he's not capable of effectively doing the job because of his condition, right? Um, why do I disagree with Eddie Griffin? Well, because there are better choices. It all just comes down to there are better choices than a man with dementia and a lying crook. Far better choices, you know. Um, Again, I keep forgetting to upload my. I don't keep forgetting. I just get lazy. That's what it is. It's a bit of forgetting, and a lot of bit of laziness. But I'll try to remember again to even after I record this episode, right? After recording, not upload it. So you're gonna see those videos before you even see or hear this episode here. Um, but after this, I'm going to upload the two videos I did on TikTok on the YouTube channel, by the way. So if by chance the audio listeners are still able to listen to this episode audio wise, the description box will still be filled with links to the YouTube channel and other links as well. That ain't going to change. Like I said, it's going to be that way until something changes, right? If something does change, I'll let y'all know. But yeah, so like I'll leave the YouTube link per usual in the description box below. You can go over, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I think it would be wise for you to do so, but as long as you're listening to me, you're doing a smart thing. All right. So like I said, there are better choices than a Joe Biden and a Donald Trump. Even if Joe Biden didn't have the health issues that he had, he was just another old fart without dementia, but still an old fart. And Donald Trump was still a fat, old, lying fart. Um, you know, notice how I didn't bring up his criminal record. Oh, he the criminal. He the I didn't bring it up because, as I stated weeks ago when I talked about it, it's held zero to nothing. His felony conviction does nothing. It's just there for liberals to say, "Ha ha," just to poke fun. It's not going to hold him back at anything. If he still loses in November, they're still going to be businesses and people in general who are willing to do business with him. They're not going to say, "Well, you're a criminal." See, criminal records only affect us, poor folks. They don't affect politicians. Heck, they don't even affect celebrities. A celebrity can have a felony. A politician can have a felony. And the only thing that will get them uh uh the only times that they are affected by their criminal record is if both parties, as they've done in the past, come together and say, we're not going to F with that guy or that girl, that person. Then that criminal record, or if they're in jail, jail or prison, simple as that. Then that criminal record, right? Um, then it becomes just, something that obviously is a stain on that individual's life. But as I stated weeks ago, and if you want to know my full thoughts on it, just go listen to that episode. YouTube, go watch that video, but it has no effect. So I'm not going to bring up his criminal record to as a stain, because it's not a stain on Donald Trump. It didn't boost his profile, but it also didn't hurt him. It's not a stain at all. Anyways, even if Donald Trump wasn't a fat lying sack of shit, and Joe Biden wasn't a skinny lying sack of shit with dementia, these choices that I'm about to name are still better than Joe Biden and Donald Trump. And I'm doing this here. Like I said, I did this on TikTok, but it didn't go into full depth really on the three candidates sorry, I'm about to name. I'm sorry. That I'm about to name. I'm about to name three. I'm not even gonna give a full breakdown. You want to know why? Because you're an adult. I feel as though if you're old enough to vote, I don't care if you just turned 18 and you're about to vote for the first time in November. Congratulations. That happened to me back in 2008 when Obama was I think it was his second term. Did I? Nope. Yeah, it was his second term, not first term, by the way. My bad. Anyways, that I was still like, I turned 18 in August of that year, and then his second term came around. Now, I've already mentioned this before. I voted for Obama because I was under the whole impression, oh, first black president, yay. I was that guy. I used to be a libtard too. That's how I know how insufferable they are. But so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't talking just to be talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking from lived experiences, from what I've seen and how I used to be. I wasn't that like a serious crazy libtard, but nonetheless, some of the talking points that they make, I used to make, y'all, believe it or not. But I woke up from that. I got exposed to the real, and both sides are shitty. But I also got exposed to individuals, politicians that actually give a damn, right? Now, there's three politicians that are running for president this year that I feel give a damn. Well, they go as this. There's Claudia de la Cruz. Now, she is running as a socialist for the Socialist Party. I believe that she has, out of all the presidential candidates, and I mean all of them, even the RFKs, even the other folks, out of every single candidate, she has the toughest race to run. Why? Because I don't think every state, although it seems messed up, I don't think every state is going to have her name on the ballot. I was watching something today, actually today, as in the 13th, as I'm recording this, where New Jersey, it's looking like they're going to allow her to have her name on a ballot, which is great. New Jersey voters, if she sounds like a good fit to you, again, you don't have to fall on Biden. You don't have to fall on Trump. Look up Claudia de la Cruz. Once again, I'll have, for the YouTube watchers out there, I'll have her beautiful face and her name on there as well, and a few key points of hers. But again, the rest of the research that you want for all of these candidates I'm about to name, you have to do your own due diligence. That's why I brought up the whole age thing. It's because I feel as though I don't care if you're as young as 18 right now, or you will be 18 before November 5th, or you are, anywhere between 18 and up, right? I think now that you're an adult, you're a legal adult, even though they're trying to get illegals to vote, which that's for another topic for another time. It's really not that hard to say why I disagree with it, but again, I'm not going to discuss it here. But yeah, even we're talking about American citizens this time, right? Or in this situation, American citizens, yeah, 18 and up. Now that you're old enough to vote, sure, you might not be old enough to drink, but you're still old enough to think. You're still old enough to do your own research. You're on the internet. Instead of watching BS TikTok videos all day, how about you use some of that time to actually do some research? You know what I'm saying? Like you can look up, you can go on Chat GBT. As I mentioned last week in last week's episode, ChatGPT has grown to be my favorite search engine, right? Because it's an AI bot that doesn't seem to have a political bias that's going to shove you specific articles in your face that align with a certain side of the political spectrum. And you have to go digging within the 990,000 in Google. That's right. I'm calling you out, nigga. But anyways, you got to go digging to find an unbiased article about said politician. Now, I'm not saying that don't use Google. Use whatever search engine. Again, you are an adult. All I'm saying here is when I name these names, when I name what their policies are, um, a few of their policies, it is up to you to look up this information and then you decide if they're good for you. Okay. Now, again, as I mentioned with Claudia de la Cruz, I believe that she has the toughest, she is running the toughest campaign out of even the other two names that I'm about to name. She has the hardest time running for president right now. Number one, she's running as a socialist under the Socialist Party. Socialism is something that a lot of the lefties claim to care about, but obviously their voting shows they don't. A lot of the lefties, liberals, whatever you want to call it, they claim to care about. Heck, you even have politicians such as an Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, and the others of the House, right? When they were first running, they were claiming to be these big bad socialists, right? And Bernie Sanders. They were putting on like they were these big bad socialists out there, right? We all saw how that turned out. Now, granted, now, I'm not saying that they were like some of their social, well, not AOC definitely, but Bernie Sanders, like not some of his socialist ideologies has spilled over to him being a Democrat. He's one of the very few, I guess former socialists or whatever the case. He's one of the very few who actually still practices a bit of socialism and within his ideology, within his ideas for policies that he has. Um, so I'm not saying that there isn't a spillover when it comes to the politicians who claim to be socialists, but to the voters out there, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But again, we're not here to talk about the voters. I'm going to talk about these candidates. Claudia de la Cruz, I truly believe from what I've seen from her, and I know a bunch of brothers actually who've had the pleasure in doing Zoom calls with her and this, that, and the third, and they're backing her. They were like, she's the truth. She truly is, trying to bring on some change. And from what I've seen, okay, I've seen live streams, I've seen interviews and this, that, and the third. I unfortunately haven't had the chance to get to speak to her myself, but from what I've seen, she's the truth, as those brothers was telling me. So honestly, I encourage you to go look her up. And if she can vote in your state, then beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Please vote for her if you feel compelled to do so. At the very least, here, I'm trying to tell y'all to go check her out. Check her and anybody else that I name out. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, preferably before November, before it's voting time. But heck, even if you listen to this episode, let's just say, I don't know, the morning of voting or the day before, and you just want to do your research. If that's how you do your thing, that's how you do your thing. But this is going to be set in July. This episode is going to be put out in July. So it's give you ample amount of time for you before then to make a decision. So you don't have to just vote for the other guy because you have no faith in Joe Biden anymore. The other guy being Donald Trump. Okay. Now people gonna be like, "You telling us not to vote for, but you said that you vote for Donald Trump or Joe Biden." This specifically is for folks who, again, if you're feeling hopeless about voting for, if you're feeling hopeless about the guy that you claim you have no faith in, but you're going to vote for anyways because you want to spite Donald Trump. Now, the next name I'm about to name, Dr. Cornel West, a familiar name, a familiar face, maybe to some of y'all. I've mentioned his name plenty of times before. You know, um, I love him. He's out of the three names that I name, as much as I love Claudia and I love, spoiler alert, Jill Stein. But as much as I love those two, he still remains my favorite of the three. He is most likely, all right, this is a mock vote, and this is not my final say. He can do something from now until November, and I'm like, oh, then I ain't gonna vote for you, my brother. Sorry. But he is most likely going to be the one because I can only vote for one, right? You know, I vote legally. Shots fired again. But I can only vote for one. He is likely out of the three names that I'm going to name here. And these are the three names that I have faith in, but he is likely going to be the individual that I vote for. Yeah, go ahead and comment. You're wasting the vote. You're taking the vote away from Joe Biden. It's because I don't think a man with dementia, despite everything else that I feel about Joe Biden, I don't think a man with dementia should be working. As I stated at the beginning of this topic when I started talking. So why the hell would I vote for somebody to get a job or to maintain a job, a position at a job, when I just said I don't believe someone with dementia should be working? Despite, again, take away everything else that I've ever said, or at least don't take it away, but ignore everything I've said about Joe Biden in the past. We're talking specifically about his health right now at this moment in time. I just said, man, he's not healthy enough to do it. I don't want to put him up there. I don't want to put him in 4 more years of this. He should be resting right now. So why the fuck would I vote for him? Anyways, Dr. Cornel West, he also has some socialist ways. But I've seen him dabble a bit with the idea of communism, socialism, more so socialism, not communism. Years ago, he was talking about communism. Again, another ideology that a lot of leftists claim to care about, but their voting shows otherwise. Okay. Shots fired at y'all too. But yeah, a lot of socialist ways, but he's running as an independent. Okay. These are three different politicians running as three different positions. So you have the socialist, Claudia de la Cruz, and now you have the independent, Dr. Cornel West. Now, Dr. Cornel West will be on every single ballot in every single state of the United States. I know that for a fact. So whether you're in North Carolina, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, LA, New Orleans, Nevada, I'm naming a lot of N's, I guess, you know, wherever, Mississippi, Florida, wherever, where? Delaware, wherever you are, you do have the opportunity to vote for a Dr. Cornel West as the presidential candidate. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to everybody that's telling you you're wasting your vote. Don't listen to all the fear mongers out there. Don't listen to the loudmouth gays out there that's gonna snap their fingers and twist their necks and get loud with you. The loud and wrongs out there and tell you you're doing something wrong by wasting your vote if you decide to vote for either a Claudia de la Cruz or a Dr. Cornel West. Okay, these are some of his uh his points. Again, he is for reparations. He's for ending the funding for wars, um, universal health care. I believe he's also for eradicating student debt as well. Again, I implore you, no matter, even if it's names outside of the three that I'm going to name here, I implore you to do research on somebody or all everybody. You know what I'm saying? Do your research. You know what I'm saying? Again, we are adults here. We are adults. When you're as young as 18 or as old as 32 or older or in between, you are an adult. You have the capability to think for yourself by law, but by nature as well. And you also should do your due diligence in looking into the candidates who are running for office, whether it be your local office or the national office. Simple as that. So that's Dr. Cornel West in a nutshell. Last name, Dr. Jill Stein, another doctor on the list, Dr. Jill Stein. Okay, of another familiar name and possible familiar face out there for some of y'all as well. I voted for Jill Stein last year. I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Last year, meaning last election year, by the way. Sorry, y'all. I voted for her 2016. I voted for her 2020. All right. Now, again, I have nothing against the woman. I have nothing. When I say that Dr. Cornel West is my favorite out of the three, it's simply because he has more policies than the other two names that I named that I agree with. That's just what it is. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with gender. Um, because Jill Stein ran against a black man in 2016, didn't vote for the black man. Um, she had her vice president. I don't know who if Baraka is still going to be her vice president this go around, but her vice president hopeful, I believe last year and in 2016 was I might be getting his first name wrong, but it was Amaju Baraka, I believe. Black man. Okay. Nonetheless, I don't go based off of not anymore. At least I'm not voting based off of skin color. You know what I'm saying? Again, I was 18 when I first voted for Obama. Young, 18, naive, black man for president. Yeah, that was me. But keyword was me, and I grew from that. All right. My thoughts on Obama now are not the thoughts I had back then. They are not. Trust me. That's probably for another episode for another time, even though I feel as though I've already shared my thoughts on Obama. But anyways, Jill Stein, she is running of the Green Party, again, different from the Independent, different from the Socialist Party. All three of these parties, or even the Democrats, will say they have socialist ideas. They will say they have ideas that will align with the Green Party. The Green Party is I guess it was founded because people typically politicians wanted to focus more so on environmental issues. It's when I was first learning about the Green Party, at least, it was known primarily as the environmental party. Like we care about we care about the planet. So we're going to elect and implement politicians who have a plan for sustainability, for the caring of this environment. Dr. Cornel West also has a plan. He was actually running as a Green Party candidate before he decided to be independent, but he carried over his Green Party ideologies. Claudia de la Cruz also has environmental sustainability plans, but decided once again that running as a socialist was the more so better fit for her. And that's why, obviously, she is of the Socialist Party. Okay. Look into these people, but you're going to see contrasting ideas. You're gonna see contrast, comparing ideas, but you're gonna see contrast either, right? So not only is Jill Stein one who is, going to care about the environment, but again, the debt situation. She wants to eliminate student debt, eliminate medical debt as well. All three of these candidates want to eliminate medical debt. Simple as that. Um, so Jill Stein, another, like I said, another familiar name, face. Do your own research on her and the other names and anybody that I did not name. Heck, even if you still want to vote for the main two guys, do your research on them. Okay, that is pretty much what I'm going to say here. You don't have to settle for, okay, fine, then I just got to vote for Donald Trump because Joe Biden's not in a good state, if that is the mind that you're in. Okay. I'm not talking to those who are just going to settle for Joe Biden. I'm not talking to those who are going to vote for Donald Trump anyways. I'm talking to those specifically who are of the mind of an Eddie Griffin, and you're like, fuck it. I might as well vote for Donald Trump because uh, at least he doesn't have dementia. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying there's other options. If you truly care about the issues that you claim to care about, if you truly care about this country, there are far better options. And I just named three. I believe three of the best options one could vote for this upcoming presidential election here in the United States. But again, do your own research. And yeah, that's that. We're going to get into a next topic, or the next topic. So stay tuned.